People who are independent have lots of choices. They can either stay in their own home, or they can move to an independent living community or a retirement community, places that basically don't provide care, but provide basic services like housekeeping or food preparation. The next level would probably be assisted living, where there are lots of different choices. You can have no physical care, but maybe you need help with your medications and food preparation and laundry and housekeeping, that sort of thing. And then all the way up to somebody who needs full care with their personal needs and their activities of daily living. Perhaps they've got uncontrolled diabetes, or their diabetes is very difficult to control, or they have some other sort of medical issue, heart failure or respiratory disease, or something that really limits their mobility and requires more medical intervention. We can do that in assisted living as well. Okay, so memory care also falls under assisted living. It is more for people who have the cognitive deficits that give them poor safety awareness, and they need a more secured environment because they will go outside into the weather if it's not appropriate, or they could walk away from the community and not be able to find their way back independently. There are definitely people that can be successful in assisted living with mild memory loss. It will depend on what their specific deficits are. If you've got somebody who knows that they shouldn't knock on somebody's door at midnight, or knows that they shouldn't leave their apartment unless they're fully clothed, then they can do just fine in assisted living. And they know that they'll get lost if they walk outside, then we don't really have a problem with people living in assisted living with memory loss. The folks with early memory loss really benefit from the socialization and different sort of programming that is available in assisted living. As some people's dementia progresses, they require a smaller environment. The hall's not quite so long. More programming that's tailored towards folks with declining memories, and extra support services in place. So skilled nursing and nursing home are the same thing. They're interchangeable. So when somebody says nursing home, they're talking about a skilled nursing community or a skilled nursing facility. And when they're talking about assisted living, it's a community that provides limited nursing services and medication assistance, but the residents don't require the ongoing assessment of a registered nurse every day. They can have their needs met by limited nursing services. Hospice can be provided either at a nursing home or an assisted living or in your own home. There are also standalone hospice houses that provide it, but that's for very short-term stays only. At Highgate, we provide hospice services in the community, so you don't have to leave to get them. There are specific communities that are called CCRCs, which is a continuing care retirement community, and those communities go all the way from a independent living retirement apartment all the way through a skilled nursing. So as you progress, or if you need to progress, then you stay on the campus but go to the different areas. So the difference between an assisted living and a CCRC is generally a CCRC has a large community fee or a buy-in fee, which can range from $50,000 to $150,000, and then that secures your spot in that community the whole time that you're there. And then in assisted living, it's more of a month-to-month contract. So you pay for the care and you rent an apartment much like you would a regular apartment, and then the care and other services are also available. Well, it's important to make the decisions early in the process when your loved one can help you make the decision. because if they can make an opinion and say, you know, I like this, or I want somewhere where I can play cards, or go on bus rides, or, you know, I want somewhere close to the library, whatever's important to the resident, that's going to be the most important thing to look for. But what's really important is that you don't wait for a crisis like a hospitalization to have a plan, or even a plan B, when something happens to your parents. You don't want to be stuck in a position where your mom's going to be discharged from the hospital in 2 days and you don't even have an idea where it would be safe for her to move to. So planning early in the process, and even if you don't need care right now, have an idea of what you'd like to look at, tour a bunch of communities, and have a plan A and a plan B. If somebody was moving into our communities, we would send our care team out to do an assessment, our nurse and our coordinator, and they would determine where that resident would fall under our system. When someone's looking for a senior living community, they should really look at where they think they're going to be, or what the worst case scenario is. So if right now, if I'm independent with my diabetes and my heart disease, look around and say, well, where if the wheels fall off the bus, where am I going to be in 3 or 5 years? If I'm going to need help with my oxygen, or if I'm going to need oxygen, or if I'm going to need to get to the hospital frequently, you want to make sure that the community can provide all of that. When you're touring a senior living community, a lot of times we hear, oh, my mom's not like that, so we don't want to move in here because my mom's not like that today. Well, think of how your mom's going to be in 5 years. Look around and think, okay, well, they're taking care of residents with high needs now, so it's probably a place where if things go poorly, we'll be able to get our needs met. If you like moving and you are happy in a place where you aren't getting a lot of care, and you know that if you need care, you're going to have to move, that's okay. That's a good choice. But some people have a harder time moving, and if they know that they're likely going to have health conditions down the road and don't want to move because it was so traumatic, it's probably best to find a place that can offer the care there, that you won't have to move out just because your care needs go up. So the single best piece of advice I can give you is to don't wait. Make a plan, make a decision, and start looking at your options early. Don't wait until you've got a big crisis, or you've got 48 hours before the hospital is going to discharge you. Have a plan A and a plan B, and make it in advance.